What's up, everyone? This is Jay from Fantasy Labs, and I am joined here with Pete, aka CSU Ram 88, and we're going to go over this Wednesday, February 10th, 12-game slate. This is really kind of the last big slate until February 19th, so definitely get ready for a nice little break after this beast slate. Pete, I know you had a better day than me. What's up? How's it going?
Doing well, man. Sorry you did not have a good day. I was witness to a part of your bad day to start the day when I brought my friend over who slaughtered you in ping pong. I don't think I've ever seen you really lose before. And not only did you lose, you got
we don't need
today.
Specifics. Yeah, I mean, I had a nice, what is today, Tuesday? A nice Tuesday. We could have gone to the mountains. We could have gone to the Super Bowl parade. But no, we had to play ping pong, and I lost for the first time in like years, it feels like. So definitely embarrassing, horrible day, but it's just like DFS. You have a bad day, you move on to the next. And I'm going to buy a sweet new paddle tonight, and I'll be back.
That's what I like to hear, Jay Sean. And, yeah, you'll be back. The Broncos, though, got to represent. We did not go downtown. A million people down there, which would have been fun, but I don't know. I tend to avoid the crowds, Jay. I wanted to go down there, but the crowds were just it was a lot.
If I wanted to be around a million people in one really small area, I wouldn't have moved from New York City. So I'm fine not doing that. But yeah, let's jump into this 12 games.
Let's do it since we got 12 games and a lot to cover. Start with Charlotte at Indiana, Jay. Total's 200. Indiana's favored by 4. Any news and notes for us here?
No, nothing new. We got Stuckey is still out with that ankle injury, and that's it for either team. So, yeah, not a bad total. Close spreads. Obviously, we've seen Batum just on fire right now. Is he cash kind of both sides for you? He's shooting guard on FanDuel and small forward on DK.
He's shooting guard on FanDuel now?
He is.
They just moved him?
I think they moved him last game, no?
Nah, dude, he's small forward.
He's shooting guard now, though. So
unbelievable, Batum. All right,
yeah,
and his price now $7K.
$7K, yeah. So not like a great matchup or anything here, but I still don't mind going him. I think he's definitely an option. And shooting guard's thin, anyways, so I don't mind him really.
Yeah, I don't mind him at all. He's been absolutely going off lately. Interesting matchup here with Paul George. I assume those two will cover each other. Not ideal.
MKG would probably be on Paul George too. So yeah,
that's true. MKG will be on Paul George.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Batum can definitely get it done. He kind of accumulates stats in other ways as well. He's rebounding really well. He's passing really well. So he makes for a pretty safe. He has a high floor right now.
Right. Yeah, he's a big guy like most on Charlotte. I mean, Kemba Walker's obviously been playing pretty well lately as well.
Yeah, I don't love the matchup too much for him going against George Hill, so I have Kemba more as a tournament play. We kind of have some other point guards on this slate that are probably stronger cash game plays than Kemba, but I definitely like him as tournament, and that's really kind of all I'm looking at here with kind of their front court. They've got a lot of bodies right now, a little bit, so not looking at anyone really to explode other than Kemba and Batum.
Right. Well, Indiana, we got Miles Turner. That's the guy I'm looking at first. What are your thoughts on him and the other guys like Paul George and stuff?
Yeah, Miles is really the only guy I'm looking at in cash, just kind of better matchup-wise. Monte has a tough matchup, and I wouldn't really go him in cash anyways. And Paul George obviously has a really difficult matchup, whichever way you look at it. If it's going to be MKG on him or even Batum they could put on him. So definitely not great here. So I think the guy I'm kind of looking at as a sneaky tournament play is George Hill. I don't mind having some exposure to him on this huge slate where you look at Monte and Paul George with difficult matchups, and then George Hill might have to, pick up the slack a little bit there offensively, and he's been playing big minutes, so we could see him carrying a heavier load and exceeding value that will definitely have a low ownership.
I think that's a good call. I like that as a GPP play. I'm definitely on Miles, and I think Paul George could also be an interesting play here. Let's keep moving to San Antonio, Orlando. Looks like the total right now, 201, with San Antonio being a 7.5-point favorite. News and notes here, Jay, and are you scared your opponents are going to play Aaron Gordon? He's going to go for 50 against you?
Oh, there's no question that Aaron Gordon, he'll be on my opponent's team and absolutely double-double before halftime. But, yeah, on the Spurs side, we got Duncan with his knee injury is I'd say highly unlikely to play. Matt Bonner as well, and then Manu's obviously out for a bit. So, and then on the Magic side, we got Tobias Harris with that sore left ankle is questionable.
All right, so Spurs on a back-to-back, but they kind of got some rest at the end. Aldridge went off, Kawhi. You like anyone really in this game, Jay?
Not really. I saw the line open, I think, at 9 or 9.5, and now it's 7.5. So I think to me that means that this being a back-to-back right before the All-Star break, I just can't really see Popovich playing these guys heavy minutes on this back-to-back, knowing that rest is kind of right around the corner. And the two guys, well, the one guy really is Aldridge. I like a lot, especially in this game, this matchup. I like so. He's kind of the guy, but cash-wise, I'm not really on anyone. I don't mind tournament exposure. I think Kawhi's underpriced, so he kind of has the makeup for a cash game play. We saw him tonight have a good game, but there's still a little worry there with the back-to-back with minutes. If he sees around 30 or even less, then it's not great. So it's really kind of Aldridge in tournaments, and then does this make set up for a Boban game?
Dude. You can talk about Boban if you want. I'm not. I mean, I get it's fun, but it's like too hip now.
It kind of is. Yeah, I do feel like a hipster right now. Actually, seeing that Boban is right behind me, and it's disappointing. I might have to.
You're touting him hard, bro.
I might have to change the lab, maybe like Hazonia Labs or something. He's kind of on the up and up, so. But I think Boban's an interesting play. I wouldn't go crazy. We've kind of seen him get minutes a little bit lately, and he's really hasn't looked great, actually, the last few times he's stepped on the court. So I think he has potential here, especially on the back-to-back. But, yeah, Jonathan Simmons, I could see playing around – I could see him getting around 25 minutes in this. It's just kind of a thing with the Spurs. They're so deep, even when they have starters out, that it's really hard to kind of find value here.
Yeah, I'm not trying to speculate too much what Popovich is going to do. I'll look at Aldridge and Kawhi, and that's it. Right. And I'll make it easy. I'm not going to play anyone on Orlando against San Antonio.
Nobody?
No one, dude. Convince me on someone. You're going to say Aaron Gordon? What do you convince me?
No, Vucevic. Yeah, I like Vuce as a tournament play, especially with center being cash-wise at least will be kind of straightforward, the option. So I'm looking at specifically the center.
Yeah, good game versus them last time too. Actually,
yeah, it was a close game for a long while. I mean, we saw Aaron Gordon double. I don't mind
Vucevic, and he's going to go for like 20 fantasy points.
Well, you're not going to play him in cash, obviously.
He's going to ruin a tournament team.
No,
I like it, Jay. I think it's a good call.
And then, Hazonia, my new boy. Well, he's not new, but he could make the wall. 32 minutes last game. So it kind of depends if Tobias is out. They went with Hazonia down the stretch, actually. I know Depot got banged up a little bit, so that helped him, obviously. I don't mind some tournament exposure to Fournier. I'm fine with some of that. If Tobias is out, obviously, I look for a few of these guys to exceed value here in a matchup that will be overlooked by everyone.
And the Spurs are, without Tim Duncan, Defensive Player of the Year, Tim Duncan.
Exactly.
They can't defend as well.
Right. So, yeah, I think Vooch can have a solid game here, as well as even Aaron Gordon and Fournier. And then those are probably the three guys I'm looking at. I'm not as high on Oladipo in this game.
Okay. Well, my normal rule, to be clear, is to fade guys versus San Antonio.
Nobody in cash.
Back to back. You kind of got me convinced there. I think that makes sense, Jay. Let's move to a game that actually has a lot of things.
Yes. Yeah.
The game that will probably be the most heavily owned, tournament, cash, games, everything. We have Sacramento at Philly. 215, 216 over under, 4.5 point spread. Sacramento's favorite. There's some notes and.
Yeah,
you gotta be pretty excited over there.
I can't wait for this game to watch, to have players in. I just can't wait. Yeah,
it's a great game. I actually just listened to
it is
Zach Low Post podcast with George Karl. It's cool to hear George Karl and all that stuff. And
I can't believe they took their fire back. Like what?
Weird spot. They have no idea what they're doing.
They're so incompetent. They can't even fire someone the right way. Like. Horrible. Anyways, news and notes. So it's kind of the same with the Kings we've seen lately, unfortunately, to even bother with this. But Rudy Gay is probable with his ankle injury. Cousins is probable with an ankle and shoulder injury. Rondo is probable with the toe, and Ben McLemore is doubtful with a sprained wrist. So we can assume that the first three I mentioned are playing, and McLemore will not play. Kind of the same as how it's been. And then on the Sixers side, we got Nick Stauskas, probable for tomorrow. He left last game with a neck injury and didn't return, but he really hasn't been on the injury report or anything. So we're kind of assuming he'll be ready for this one.
Okay.
So, yeah, Kings side, let's talk cash games. I mean, obviously, this is a night I think you definitely want to get Boogie on both sides, or what do you –
yeah, dude. Just load it up on Boogie. I mean, I'm in. Like,
he's 11-1 on DK.
Doesn't matter. He's going to go ham.
And 10-6 on FanDuel. So, like, yeah, I'm totally trying to get him in both cash game lineups, especially against this defense and the total, the spread. I mean, everything's on Boogie's side here. So, strong cash game play. It's hard. They're obviously at a really high implied point total, but who else do you really go here in cash?
Bellinelli, dude.
Belly? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, dude. McLemore out. He's going to play like 28, 30 minutes. I'm not saying
probably play more, yeah.
He's a pretty darn good play.
I think he's fine. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely cheap. So the guy
you can roll the dice with Rondo and Gay too, and GPPs.
Yeah, I mean, Rondo's kind of the guy I'm looking at here to have a big game. Huge.
Rudy Gay is too cheap as well, though.
Yeah, I have Boogie cash. Rondo's borderline. I mean, I'd love to play him in cash, but it's hard with that price, to fit him and Boogie and still make a solid team, especially on DK. So he probably leans more tournament. And then, yeah, I love Rudy Gay tournament exposure for sure, and maybe some Bellinelli here.
Okay. What about on Philly's side, dude? I didn't hear you. Ish Smith, is he fine?
Yeah, he's fine. Oh, he was on – well, he missed the game for the ankle injury and then was on a 24-minute limit prior to last game, but that did not hold very long, and he ended up, I think, playing 33 minutes. So definitely not on that 24-minute limit unless they just don't know how to count. So assuming he's not on a limit, or maybe they should put him on a limit, and that makes me like him even more because they don't know how to hold the limit. I'm fine with him in cash. This Kings defense is getting torched. So
right.
I definitely want exposure to this game, obviously. So you look at kind of the guy, Ish is that guy. And I don't think he's out of that price range yet where he's an option. And then I really like Nerlens in this spot. I think it's tough to go him in cash, just kind of the tournament makeup that he has, especially with Okafor starting as well. But he's if anything, a strong tournament play for me and even borderline cash for me.
Oh, I love Nerlens. I think he's great. He went off against Sacramento last time. I think he's definitely one of my favorite plays. Bob Covington has burned us recently as a tournament play, I think, for sure. He could still get hot from three, get a bunch of steals in this type of game. Definitely think a guy who could do well after not producing recently.
Yeah, I mean, Sacramento's defense is so bad. You definitely want to target this and get exposure. So Bob Covington, Jeremy Grant, even I'm fine with some exposure to in some tournaments, small exposure. And then obviously Ish and Nerlens, and I'm even fine with some Okafor tournament exposure as well.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving to Denver at Detroit, dude. And, this is a game where we can see some fireworks as well. Right now the over-under is 208, and it looks like the spread right now is Detroit by 5.5.
Yeah, so really high total. News and notes on the Nuggets side, Darrell Arthur is doubtful with the sore left quad, and then Jameer Nelson is I think doubtful, questionable, but I'd be surprised if he played with a sprained left wrist that's held him out for a while. On the Pistons side, no new news. Pope's out till after the All-Star break, so same old for Pistons. We'll see Stanley Johnson continue starting. On the Nuggets for cash, is there anyone? I mean, we kind of have been burned by that front court now with, Malone saying he's going to play Joff more. We saw Jokic only go 14 minutes last game. That's definitely terrifying for, exposure to him. They're kind of spreading the minutes around outside. I don't love the matchup for Gallo here, so I don't think he's on my cash radar. Is anyone kind of on your cash?
For Denver, it's just Moutier.
Yeah, Moutier is probably the guy.
He's the only one. I mean, I'm not saying I love it either. It's just if you're going to look for someone.
Yeah, I think
He's going to play a good amount of minutes. He's going to,
right.
he's solid for his price.
I think I'm off Denver in cash on both sides. I just don't think the value's there with the matchup and everything for
That's
each
fair.
player. But tournaments, I still like exposure. I think if Arthur's out, I don't mind going some for Reed. I think Will Barton's always an interesting tournament play. Moutier makes for a fine tournament play. And then I don't mind Jokic exposure. If you're making a decent amount of tournament teams, I think it's fine to have him in some because this is kind of like rock bottom for him where his price hasn't dropped a ton and he's just coming off a game where he barely played. And that's kind of what I look at in terms of what is this guy's upside and what's his ownership. And it's looking pretty solid here.
Yeah, it could be low ownership for sure. And there's definitely still upside. Love his game, but the rotation definitely is scary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people are off him for a great reason, but, with that low ownership and his upside, I'm fine taking a few chances in tournaments.
Let's talk about Andre Drummond, buddy.
I don't want – no, you talk about him. Yeah,
I believe you played him last time you played Denver. How'd that work out for you, Jay?
It was one of the worst nights of the season until today. Today is just the worst day, probably for the last 10 years altogether. So I'm not running back Drummond.
Not going to run him back. 17 fantasy points last time versus Denver didn't get you wasn't too great.
Didn't get me amped, yeah. I'm fine with him in tournaments, though. I'll be real here. I still like the matchup, the rebounding advantage kind of there. But we have others much stronger. I mean, I'm not even considering Drummond in cash over Boogie. I think that was exactly what happened last time, I think.
And you and Drummond and Boogie off.
He didn't have as good.
Boogie too.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So, but Drummond, I think you still got to have tournament exposure to. Is there anyone in cash? Are you looking at Stanley Johnson after?
Oh, yeah, dude. Stanley Johnson's – I think he's still a really good play.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not –
I'm up on DraftKings, but on FanDuel.
DK, you can definitely fade him, I think, is fine. But this is the Nuggets wings. So I'm looking at Stanley. I'm fine with him. He's 4,900 on FanDuel, a small forward. I'm totally fine with him in cash.
Right. I still think he's a good play in DraftKings as well. Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Against this backcourt defensively, yeah, it's great. So definitely Reggie, Drummond, and maybe some Marcus Morris here as well. Just kind of an under-owned guy who has some upside in this game.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's merit to all the Detroit guys. I think the best cash game play is Johnson.
Yep.
Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson, both lead tournament plays in my mind. Let's go to the Clippers at Celtics here. We have a 208 over-under and a 1.5 point spread. News and notes, Jay?
Yeah, we got on the Clippers side, Austin Rivers is out with that hand injury. Blake is still out, obviously. And then Paul Pierce, who sat out last game for rest, should be back, or is he's fully expected to be back. So we can expect Wesley Johnson to return to the bench with Pierce starting. And then on the Celtics side, no injuries.
A lot of pace here, Jay.
Really quite a bit. So I definitely like exposure. It's just kind of hard, especially on the Celtics side, to pick with how many guys are in their rotation and the minutes. On the Clippers side, I mean, I'm fine with DeAndre in cash.
I like DeAndre. Good matchup.
I love it, but it's kind of like, well, at least on FanDuel, are you going to fade Boogie? So it's kind of a spot where he's a cash game play, but not the best cash game play at his position. If it turns out that you're having difficulty finding value plays or trusting some of these cheap guys, you want to fade Stanley, kind of pay up, then I think DeAndre is fine to pivot to at center. And obviously on DK, Boogie's a power forward anyways. So DeAndre's a great play there. I think he has a really high floor, which is great in cash games, especially with this matchup.
Wes Johnson, dude, coming off 42 minutes.
Yeah, but Paul Pierce is back.
He's
still
going to play a decent amount, I bet. But it's not as good with it.
Yeah, it's not as appealing. Chris Paul, I like a lot with this close spread. I love Chris Paul in close games. Probably more of a tournament option, though, for me. And
Avery Bradley will fluster him just a little bit.
Yeah, he should. So, yeah, not cash game for me. Jamal Crawford was he's been really solid and underpriced and kind of an overlooked strong cash game play at a weak shooting guard position for, I think, weeks now.
Yeah, he had a great game last time. I know you were on that against Philly, which was sharp.
I,
20.
I, I still like him here too.
Okay. All right.
Um,
I think that's. I mean, I really don't have any strong takes here on this game for Boston. I'd be no one really because I'm not going to play Isaiah on this spot. And
yeah, no,
the rest of
Boston really.
crowded.
I mean, I don't mind Avery Bradley, 5,700 on FanDuel at
That's
shooting
true.
guard. I don't mind it. I think it's a fine play. Just kind of looking at shooting guard overall, it's not like it's super strong with kind of Harden on the back-to-back off coming off 40 minutes is kind of whatever. So I think Avery's a fine play there. Not one of my favorite cash game plays or anything, but he's an option. And tournaments, I'm looking at Solinger a little bit, kind of how you always are, but minutes are obviously the biggest thing. And Evan Turner, again, I like his tournament play, especially against this Clippers second unit.
Okay. Can agree with all that. Let's go to the Lakers at Cleveland, Jay. 15 or no, it's spread. Yeah, 15 and a half point favorites for Cleveland, 207 over under.
Yeah, I mean, do you want – yeah, it's tough. News and notes, Anthony Brown is doubtful with a sprained right ankle. Kobe's questionable with a sore right shoulder.
Kobe's going to play.
In Cleveland, probably.
Probably last game there.
Roy Hibbert, probable with a sprained left ankle, so he'll be back. Cavs side, Delvedova with the hamstring is likely out. So, yeah, I mean, huge spread here, obviously. I don't think you can really even consider anyone in cash on the Lakers side at all. But what about any tournament value?
For the Lakers?
Yeah.
Eh.
Probably not. D'Angelo Russell we saw play a little bit more down the stretch. I don't mind him. He had a 16-5-5 line. If Kobe's out, I think it opens up some.
Yeah, if Kobe's out, but dude, he's not. He's going to play.
Questionable. He might not. I mean, he might play, but he might just barely play.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
Randall could have a good game, I guess, too.
Randall could definitely have a good game. It's obviously a horrible spot for all these guys, really. Lou is just 5,300 if Kobe's out, but it's just not the best spot, obviously. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty off them. Any Kobe exposure?
No.
He took 25 shots last game.
He's been doing well, actually, but I mean, maybe.
Well, yeah. He shot 6 for 25. That is incredible.
Kobe. Yeah, it's a great losing strategy. Just get Kobe in there to jack some shots, man.
It's not bad. It was like me and ping pong today. The 6 for 25 got on the table, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure.
Not even. So yeah, kind of just off the Lakers here overall. But I think if we get word he's leaning doubtful possibly, then I think it opens up some value. But yeah, I'm with you. Like maybe some Randall exposure. Just rebounding really well lately. That's probably it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk the big three. Who are you most likely to have exposure to out of the big three for Cleveland? Cleveland.
I mean, I'm assuming that they'll play 3 quarters in this one with the 15.5 spread. So you can't really count on them for going a full allotment of minutes, seeing that fourth quarter. So it's kind of who would be the guy to accumulate the most stats in 3 quarters, assuming they're up 20 going into the fourth. And I think it's LeBron personally, because I think, he can get that triple-double upside. I think Kyrie can definitely score a lot of points. We've seen him kind of on fire lately.
I like Kyrie's rotation. Kyrie sits the end of the third, plays.
That's true.
Towards the end of the beginning of the fourth. That's
true. So even if they are up, he'll most likely.
If they're up like 20, exactly.
Yeah, he still
plays in the fourth a little bit.
I agree. So yeah, I'm more looking LeBron and Kyrie, and then maybe some Love exposure. It's obviously a great matchup for all of them, of course. So I don't mind even some exposure to JR, just kind of knowing him jacking up threes, and he has some upside here. But yeah, it's tough to do much with them. You're kind of banking on this blowout.
Right. Okay. Well, let's go back to Memphis, Brooklyn here. This game has a ton of juiciness. We got a 197 over under. Memphis a 3.5 point favorite, but Marc Gasol out for the year.
Out indefinitely, yeah.
Is he out for the year or out indefinitely?
I don't know if he's out for the year.
I just saw that earlier.
But I mean, I think so. So, but yeah, broken right foot. So horrible for them. I saw the Nuggets are going to get a good pick out of that. They're gonna have 4 first-round picks.
The Nuggets?
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's dominant.
They're coming up. Yeah. Yeah, and they got assets too. I mean, obviously the picks, but they have assets.
Yep.
I'm surprised no one's scooped up Darrell Arthur too. All right. Anyway, so yeah, this definitely brings some good value plays here with Marc Gasol out. We kind of are both in agreement that they might just kind of start Ryan Hollins. Maybe we've seen him start before and just kind of be a like dead weight. You know, you're not going to go him. So if he draws a start, don't go him in cash.
Fade Hollins.
Yeah, I mean we're definitely expecting the Grizzlies to play small, especially now, obviously. So I'm looking at Jeff Green for sure and Zach Randolph. So Marc Gasol had a 23.9 usage rate this season, and that's a lot. That's gone now, so it's going to have to be distributed. And the guys I think benefit the most, Jeff Green bumps up from 20.8 to 24.7 without Marc Gasol. And Zach Randolph bumps up from 24.5 usage rate to 28.6. So those two guys I think are both just, huge value plays here at their price points, positions, everything really. And then you throw in the matchup against Brooklyn, and I think it's kind of a no-brainer to have exposure in cash to both Zach Randolph and Jeff Green.
Yep. I love Jeff Green. That's my guy tomorrow.
Yeah, very strong.
He's going to play a ton of minutes.
And then Matt Barnes is definitely an intriguing option as well with an projected uptick.
I like everyone here. It's against Brooklyn, perfect matchup. I don't mind the guys on Brooklyn either. Like Brook Lopez should have a decent game now. Thad Young, dude. I like this spot overall.
Brook Lopez is
a lot faster.
Might be like my favorite tournament play on this slate. Just knowing where everyone's going to go at center. And here's Brook facing Memphis, where people are generally off of because Marc Gasol's defense and he's not there. So Memphis is already a horrible rebounding team. So with Marc Gasol, so without him, I'm looking at Brook Lopez. Yeah, to have huge upside here, massive. So definitely a strong tournament play for me. Probably no one in cash still. I think there's some downside to Brook, and it's more so just I like guys at the position more than him really for cash. More safety. But, I don't mind some Thad exposure in tournaments either.
Joe Johnson, I'm not going to play him.
No, yeah, I'm off the Joe train. Although that was a nasty game winner.
That was nasty.
And he broke Nurkic's ankles.
He did break Nurkic's ankles.
Did not like that. That'll come around. Nurkic takes him to his natural habitat, and slaughters him or something.
Yes, he will. I really don't have any other comments here other than I think Jeff Green's an elite cash game play, and Randolph and Barnes are also really good plays, tournaments or cash, depending on how you're constructing your roster. Let's move to
Thomas Robinson. Sorry, I missed this. Thomas Robinson is probable with a sprained right toe for Brooklyn. You can go on now.
All right. Nice little.
He's been getting minutes.
That's true.
Played 17 last game. So.
I remember, dude, when we were in Vegas, actually, Thomas Robinson. He was out, and
that was the greatest.
It was back in the day when he was at Kansas. It was Ohio State in Kansas.
Yeah, Solinger too. Yeah. No. It was Solinger was out. I was on my phone. We were sitting at the card table.
Yeah, Solinger was ruled out. And we got in.
Ran to the sports book and told everyone at our table too.
Yeah. And the line moved 5 points after we got it in.
Yep. And they crushed. They won by like 11, I think. Solinger did. Or Thomas Robinson. Yeah, Kansas.
They wrecked.
Yeah, not bad.
Atlanta, Chicago, Jay. This game, just Chicago. I mean, give me some news and notes on freaking.
What do you got the line at?
The line's at 203, and it looks like Atlanta's favored by 3 right now.
Okay, yeah, Bulls defense has definitely been slipping. So on the Hawks side, Thiago Splitter is out with that hip injury. On the Bulls side, Butler out 3 to 4 weeks with the knee, and Derrick Rose plans to play, so he's probable with general soreness.
General soreness. What a line! I mean, that was a crazy DFS day. Bulls side, we got what you gave. Also, you gave me a lot of crap for playing Etuan Moore the other night.
I sure did. I will again. It's Etuan Moore.
Yeah, I probably won't have too much Etuan Moore.
It's just not necessary. I don't care how many minutes Etuan Moore plays.
I mean, he's 5,600 on DraftKings now. No chance.
Absurd. That's absurd. I get it on like a small slate, especially at shooting guard. There's just not many options. But
What about Rose, dude?
well, let's start with the
Price is
Hawks.
kinda
Start with the Hawks.
okay. All right.
So with the Bulls defense really slipping lately, even before Butler was out, they were slipping, and now Butler's out. I'm totally fine with Millsap and cash.
Yeah.
If you can kind of
Horford too, dude. Horford's price is nice.
it is. It really is.
DraftKings, it's only 6,600. I think.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had Horford definitely a very strong tournament play, but yeah, on DK, I think you can get away with him in cash.
Yes, sir. I agree. With that.
I think Teague is a fine tournament play here, and a little bit of Bazemore action.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But really, I'm looking at Millsap and Horford and then Teague in tournaments.
Yeah, that's it. I think the front court players are the best guys to play here. Let's talk about the Bulls. I think Rose and Powell are the guys we're looking at the most. What are your thoughts there? Maybe Taj?
Absolutely, yeah. 2 cash guys are Rose, assuming he plays and is fine, and definitely Powell here. So both very strong cash game options. I really like a tournament team on DK with both Boogie and Powell. I think is great since Boogie's power forward. So kind of both of those guys. Definitely like as a tournament team. And but yeah, both are cash game options for me. Obviously, Rose has a really good price for the way he's been playing with Butler out, obviously. So definitely a strong play there. Anyone else? I mean, I don't think you need to go Etuan on this slate. A lot of options, 12 games. I wouldn't really.
If you go Etuan tomorrow, I'm going to be pretty pissed at you, Jay.
Oh, I'm not going to. Yeah, no. But
make fun of him all this time. Make fun of me for playing him at a much cheaper price, smaller slate. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
tell us how you really feel about Etuan Moore, Jay.
I mean, I think he sucks. I'll be real with you. Yeah, he got 2 steals against the team that gives up the least steals in the NBA too. It's fluky. Last game. Yeah, you don't need to go him though. I think Taj. I don't know. Are you on Taj and cash?
No,
I'm not.
Probably not. I shouldn't say it so quickly now, but initial lineup builds, no. Things could change, but I don't think so.
I don't either. Any like Bobby Portis tournament exposure?
No.
It's kind of limited upside a little bit there. So yeah,
got to watch. I guess down towards the end of the year is Mike Dunleavy. See if anything happens with him.
Yeah,
he's in the minutes now, but
right.
He starts playing 30s or something like that at some point at a really low price tag. He's interesting. He's 31. Right. I'm not going to touch him, but
no, yeah, he's still on that minutes limit. So
when that gets lifted, that's when he's
right. Yeah. No, I agree. He could definitely be interesting. He's a big piece for them back for sure.
All right, let's go to Toronto and Minnesota here, Jay. Looks like the line right now we have at 207. Let's see. What the heck? Yeah, 207 under 6-point favorite for Toronto.
Yeah. So, yeah, news and notes. James Johnson for Toronto with a sprained ankle has no timetable to return, so we can expect him out of this one. On the Wolves side, the same 3, Kevin Garnett, Nikola Pekovic are both doubtful. Kevin Martin, sore right wrist is questionable, but I'd be surprised if he played. I think they kind of shut these guys down till after the All-Star break without, legitimately shutting them down. So kind of same, though, as it's been. Wolves defense, obviously brutal, terrible. So we looking at kind of on the Raptor side, I really like Kyle Lowry in this spot.
Yeah, I love Lowry, love DeRozan. That's kind of the gist of it.
Pretty much, yeah. And I don't think Lowry's I don't know. Point guard's interesting on this slate, but I usually don't love targeting Rubio, but Rubio's not really playing like full huge minutes. So defensively, I'm not that worried, and just kind of with how bad the Wolves are all around at defense, I'm not too worried about Lowry here.
Yeah, I should say Terrence Ross is a tournament play on DraftKings in particular. 4,200 with his 3-point making ability.
Right. Yeah, with James Johnson out. And then I think Valanciunas offers some tournament value here, and maybe even some Corey Joseph. Some Kojo in this spot is fine. But I'm with you definitely on DeRozan as well as a strong tournament play here against some terrible defense.
Towns and Dieng are 2 popular choices recently. Are we going to have exposure to them on the Timberwolves side?
A little bit tougher spot for them. I mean, I think Towns has proven himself multiple times that he's kind of matchup proof if things kind of go his way and he gets those solid minutes. But I don't think it's enough for me to roll him in cash in this spot. But obviously love the upside for Towns. And Yeah, Jang, I'm not in love with the matchup here, but I don't think his price really went up uh, on FanDuel too much. Let me check. Okay, so yeah, he's 6,300 on FanDuel, and he's obviously been paying that off. I, I think it's an interesting spot. I don't think he's a strong cash game play as he kind of has been. I think this is a little bit more difficult for them uh, with Toronto, swapping between Val and Biombo off the bench. A little bit tougher down low for these guys, especially Jang. So not too high on him, but I think I'm fine with him if you can kind of build the rest of your team and spend elsewhere and kind of have to save at center, then I think it's fine. But more of a tournament play, him in Towns for me.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's how I'm feeling too. It's kind of you're paying a premium now after all the good matchups and good opportunities, and I think that it's not the best matchup, so I'm not going to be going these guys nearly as much. I do like Levine and Rubio for tournaments. I know Rubio hasn't been playing the minutes, but you can still get a triple-double really cheap on DraftKings, only 6,200. Moving to Utah at New Orleans here, we have a 192 over-under, down from 197, I believe, with a 2.5-point spread. News and notes?
Yeah, this game was immediately interesting to me that, the total dropped, and then the Pelicans are favored by 2.5. So you look at the Jazz, obviously they're coming off a back-to-back, a road back-to-back.
Gordon Hayward, game-winning shot.
Yeah, an overtime road back-to-back. So you can definitely kind of makes sense that the Pelicans are favored by 2.5, that Vegas kind of thinks these guys are going to be tired, which I do too. Road back-to-back anyways is difficult, and then you add in the overtime extended minutes for all these guys. We saw Hayward play 45, Hood 43 minutes, so definitely kind of tough here. Obviously a great matchup. Pelicans D is very soft, but just on the fact that this total is 192.5 and the Jazz are underdogs, I'm not really looking at anyone in cash here. I think if they had rest, I think you could look at Rodney Hood as an intriguing cash option the way he's been playing lately.
Yeah.
Even some Hayward possibly favors as well. So given all these circumstances, I'm off them in cash. I don't mind them in tournaments, but I will be lighter on them than I usually would if they weren't in this scenario.
Right. I'm going to be lighter on Utah. New Orleans has the players I'm interested in. Drew Holiday just coming off a monster game. Still only 6,900 on DraftKings. Love his price. Love the opportunity he has. And freaking Anthony Davis will probably go for 75 in this game. After we all get off him, he doesn't do well in the high pace, good matchups, but somehow just crushes in bad matchups.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously really bad against favorites.
It is.
Gobert, but
right.
Somehow Anthony Davis.
Injuries
he's already had a couple good games against Utah. So.
No, yeah, he's a fine tournament play. I like him just fine. He's going to have a very low ownership. Injuries for the Jazz, we got Trey Burke, questionable with the illness still. Obviously, we're not going to run back Neto there after tonight probably, with him only playing.
You were on the Neto train today, be honest, Jay.
I was. Yeah, I'll be honest. But only because the lack of depth at the position. It wasn't necessarily that I was on.
Remember, you had a bad day, but you willingly put in Neto and Plumlee.
When you lose in ping pong that badly, when you haven't caught an L in 5 years, it's damaging to your lineup making.
At least you saved some dignity. You didn't get completely swept one game.
Oh man, yeah, it's brutal. But yeah, we saw Inglis kind of play point, or it's weird watching the Jazz. They Green wasn't even on the court either, and Neto, and they didn't really have a point guard. So that's obviously troubling for Neto here with his value, obviously his floor especially. So definitely not going back to him if Burke ends up being ruled out. But yeah, on the Pelicans side, injuries, nothing new. Tyreek with that right knee is still out, and actually as of I think 30 minutes ago, we saw that he's planning on undergoing knee surgery and is likely to miss the remainder of the season. So pretty big. I'm with you on Drew. Unfortunately, he'll never start, I don't think, for years. But strong tournament play for me. I'm not targeting anyone in cash really on this team because of the low total, especially compared to some of these other games where we've seen really high totals, like Kings game and whatnot. So I definitely like him a lot as a tournament play. I like Anthony Davis a lot as a tournament play in what will be one of his lowest owned, ownership in tournaments. So I think there's definitely value there. Ryan Anderson, I don't necessarily mind some tournament exposure to. And then you also have the upside with going Rhino that Anthony Davis gets injured.
Yeah, which is, a decent probability.
Staying down low with Favors and Gobert, so I'd say it's a strong possibility. And I am the brow whisperer, so it'll come to me. When I go to sleep, it kind of comes through me in a dream form, whether he gets injured or not. So I'll let everybody know when I wake up that if he's going to go down.
Yeah, gotta follow at Doppelsykes to get info right.
Brow whisper, yeah. So anybody else on the Pelicans?
Nah, dude. Let's go to Golden State, Phoenix, where I know you're upset about Draymond Green, but
I'll get over.
State, Phoenix, 220 over under, 16-point favorites for Golden State, back to back. If this game stays remotely close, there could be some fans here.
Yeah, they're really good.
This is the ultimate tournament game.
It is. I agree. I really do agree with that. It's not hard to kind of look at this slate and break it down and be like, okay, Warriors are on back-to-back on the road. They're 16-point favorites, but still 220 total. They're still going to get this implied points is insane for them. So how are they going to get all these points? It's not going to be all their bench. So, yeah, I'm looking at going these guys in tournaments still for sure. I'm fine. Obviously, Curry. And you look, even if it is over in the third quarter, who's the guy who can get 55 and 3/4? It's Curry. So I don't mind having tournament exposure to him. And who I really like tournament exposure to is Maurice Spates, Mo Buckets in this.
Mo Buckets, buddy.
I love this spot for him on the back-to-back. I could see the start Bogut playing a little bit less, Spates seeing a bit more time. We saw him jack up shots today, I think in 11 minutes or something. So
I like that call.
So I like Spates a lot here. Not as high on Clay, just kind of playing the odds that this is a blowout. And Clay in 3/4, if you're assuming blowout, can definitely put up a full line, but it'll obviously be more scoring based. So, like 30 something is kind of his ceiling realistically here. So not as high on him.
His ceiling's still higher than that.
In 3/4.
He scored more than that in one third quarter alone.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying I don't think he's going to do that again.
He could. Against Phoenix?
He could. I'm just saying he doesn't do
I get what you're saying.
He doesn't do anything but score. So I'm not as high on him at all.
Fair.
Especially accounting.
Still has upside. Clay, if you look through his game log, he gets hot, bro.
Yeah, he definitely has upside. Yeah. It's just not enough for me in 3/4.
All right. Well, I'm going to play Klay Thompson tomorrow. I want all the money. Just decided. Going all in. Klay Thompson going for a 50 burger.
You can have the Clay. I will have the Etuan Moore.
I'm going to go Clay and Draymond tomorrow. Ultimate special.
Yeah.
Clay, Draymond, and Markieff Morris.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You definitely gain value here with the huge spread that people are immediately going to be off this game.
And they just got burned by Clay and Draymond.
Right, yeah, especially Draymond here. Yeah, no, I like Draymond, though, in the spot, obviously.
Okay.
For sure.
I thought you were going to hate on him right there, Jay.
Well, it's a new day. It's past midnight. It's well past, so I'm over Dre. But, yeah, the last slate, yeah, sure, I was hating on Dre a little bit. He had, 13 or something deep into the fourth quarter.
That's not good.
Against the Rockets. Whew. But yeah, and this is a guy that I've faded too many times where he's burnt, goes for 60 because he's a triple-double. He hunts him down. He actively tries to get triple-doubles.
Oh, yeah, he's going to get another one before the All-Star break tomorrow. Golden State is going to try to play up pace, maybe a little sloppy here, have some fun. The eyes on the All-Star break.
Yeah, exactly.
Phoenix stinks.
And the thing is, we see them put up 90 or so in 3/4 against a lot of teams, and this is the Suns. So you're looking at the Warriors implied total like we just talked about, and it's not going to come from, Iguodala, so Brandon Rush. So it's coming from these main guys, majority. So I think you could still have plenty of value here.
Okay. What about the Phoenix side? We on Booker? We on
nobody in cash? Nobody in cash for me.
Okay.
Sure.
Who's your favorite tournament play?
Maybe Markieff, maybe Archie. Goodwin kind of has huge minutes regardless. They're obviously thin there with ball handlers. So I look for him to possibly have a pretty solid game. We've seen the Warriors tonight too, but their defense, you brought it up earlier, that kind of slips, especially when they build big leads. So if all the starters kind of out and they're playing lackadaisical in the fourth quarter, Archie's still in, I think he can rack up a decent line here. And Markieff as well. So those are probably the two. I think there's definitely value in Booker. He's kind of been cold lately, but I think it's still there if he gets big minutes as well. Other than that, I'm not looking at anyone too much kind of off the bench with kind of the bodies they have right now, front court wise.
Okay. Let's go to Houston, Portland here, Jay. Definitely a lot of fantasy goodness. We don't have a line currently, but gotta love Harden, Lillard. I mean, last time they played, Portland blew them out, kind of ruined the stat line, but Dwight also had a big game there. So what are you doing with this game?
Yeah, first, so injuries, Terrence Jones, the concussion is likely out until after the Ellis break, so not expected to be available in this one. And then on the Blazers side, Noah Vonleh is probable with the sprained left ankle, so we can assume he'll be back in the starting lineup there. Cash, or for the Rockets, it's obviously a great matchup, but it's also a road back-to-back. Harden played 40 minutes tonight, so it's not ideal. I fully expect that to go down closer to 34 on the road back-to-back right before the break. Dwight, we saw play 34 minutes tonight. He's on a back-to-back. I know he kind of had those minutes limits lifted before, but he kind of picked up a few more bangs, a little bit of injuries recently. So it's tough to go these guys in cash for me with the road back-to-back.
Yeah. I think they're great. Harden, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna have a good game. He should in the spot.
I agree. It's just a little bit of hesitance just on the decreased minutes I'm expecting to have.
That's fair.
Yeah, still a strong play. And I think Dwight's still fine as a tournament play. Ariza played 40 minutes, but Ariza kind of can always play a lot of minutes, so I don't mind tournament exposure to him either. So it's kind of those three I'm looking at. More so for tournaments for me. But I don't – yeah. If you can fit Harden in cash easily, then sure. But I don't think it'll be easy to do with some of these other guys.
It definitely won't be easy, but I think with shooting guard, it's a tough position to fill.
Yeah.
He's definitely worth spending up for in certain spots. So tomorrow definitely could be that way depending on how the news breaks and where you decide to spend and save in your roster. Let's talk a little Portland. Dame Lillard, man, he could have a big game here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, this Rockets defense is garbage, and the back-to-back garbage. So, yeah, but really the problem is with Vonleh back now too. It's kind of the same two guys. It's Lillard and McCollum, and I don't mind either. I don't mind McCollum and Cash either.
No, I don't mind either.
This is about as good a spot for him as he can get. So I love this spot for him. What's he? I think 7,100 on DK. Yeah. So I don't mind him there. I think he'll have a huge game here, and obviously Lillard is in a great spot. We haven't really seen Beverly be a lockdown defender because their team defense is just so bad. So
yeah, I definitely like McCollum here, and I think Lillard's the other elite play. Definitely a game I don't mind stacking too if you want to just take a shot that this game goes late. Definitely could be a lot of points in this game. And I think after getting beat by them, kind of blown out, they're going to come out with a little more. We'll see. Houston sometimes just comes out so cold anyways and so lackadaisical, but they should be aware that they got blown out from them last time.
I agree. No, you're right. I think this is a fabulous game to stack kind of on both sides. You're taking the chances on the minutes with the Rockets, and then you got these Blazers guys obviously in a great matchup, and they're well-rested. So, and it's also the latest game of the night by far. It's the only one that's that late. The other game, the last game starts at 9 Eastern, and this is 10:30. So these games are usually overlooked a bit. So I definitely like getting a lot of tournament exposure to this game.
Yes, sir. All right, well, Jay, we're on to a new day. This is the last big day of the season. I'm probably going to throw a lot of tournament teams, use the lineup builder from Fantasy Labs, which would be great. And Jay, the one nice thing that happened, you did still beat me in ping pong. As much as I gave you on the pod, you smashed.
I've never lost to you in my life, though. So
yeah, that's fair.
But that day,
I gave you a run today. That's how bad it was.
It was really bad. I'm not going to sleep tonight, obviously. I'm going to go find someone, someone local, and I'm going to play all night. I'm going to hunt people down, whether they know how to play or not. Like, I'm on a mission. I will be back, by the time that like this is perfect timing for All-Star break. I'm gonna train like they do in beer pong.
Rocky montage.
Rocky montage. The whole new everything. So
To work on the form,
Exactly. Yep. But yeah, good luck everyone. And I'm with you. I'm going pretty heavy on tournaments tomorrow. I love the kind of last day for break. We got some juicy tournaments too.
Yeah, the
on both sides.
400K, 1K tournament on
Yeah,
DraftKings.
that's big.
That's going to be awesome.
DK.
Got the big crossover.
Yeah, crossover, perfect
ball.
for our lineup builder. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna throw a lot of tournament teams, and I think we have some guys. It's a 12-game slate. We kind of have some chalk. So you look at tournaments, and that's Fade Central, and I think you can get a lot of value kind of going these guys that are just going to be overlooked really by the most people. So set exposures to some of these guys. I think like Brooke Lopez is a great one that people will be off a little bit. Could have a big game. Lots of guys you can set your exposure to on our lineup tool and kind of roll with a decent amount of tournament teams on this last slate before. Is there even a slate on
Oh yeah, dude.
the 2-gamer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm probably taking that off. I know you won't.
It's my birthday that day, but I'll probably be playing NHL too.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking NBA here. I know there's other stuff going on too. I'm looking forward to Mario Kart, obviously, for the All-Star break.
Oh yeah, I still will finance anything there. Unlimited jelly beans on Mario Kart. I know you haven't lost your swag there.
No, but it's close. My swag is almost all gone after today. It's a new
day.
day.
You're gonna get it all back, dude, on this All-Star trip.
Rejuvenate, with the break. We won't have obviously a slate breakdown pod, but we will have some information, especially coming out kind of to prep for the second half of the season, which I think is huge. There's a lot of things. There'll be some trades by the time we're back. So lots of stuff we'll catch you up on. And until then, good luck. Good luck on this big slate tomorrow. And we'll see you guys after the All-Star break. If I can find this button to